Joel, thank you so much for joining us. Now it's time for the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Clark Wilcox. Clark.
What's happening, y'all? How we doing? Hey, Mike's working today. Riz is up. Thank you, Danielle. So today we're talking getting more candidate responses in less time. So at the Digital Recruiter, we coach, we train agency recruiters every single day. Digital Recruiter Talent Group, I co-own an agency. So we are in the weeds with you trying to figure out how to get these people to respond to us on LinkedIn. Uh, there's more people on LinkedIn than ever. There's more people sending in mails. So I'm hearing low response rates, candidates being spammed, right, or approached with irrelevant roles. I think every single one of us probably have that. I've been offered a lot of IT jobs recently, and I know nothing about IT. And it's hard to stand out from the noise. So I want to talk on like three things today that can help you get more candidate responses, better candidates, and get more coverage on your roles every single day. The first thing Joel alluded to earlier, what's in it for them? That's what your message every single time you should think. It's not about the company. It's not about you. It is about the candidate on the other side, right? So you have to understand the candidate landscape, right? That means pushing the hiring manager with your internal and external, push them on the role, what the must-haves are, what the benefits are for their perfect candidate to take this role, what's going to make them make a jump. And, it's a big deal to switch jobs or start a new job. You want to spend most of your time sourcing. And I might be thinking, Doug Clark, I already do this. But here's the thing, don't overthink, right? Don't stare at the profile too long, right? Go through your list. You're going to spend most of your time here because the real key is you want to scale it with automation. Email, LinkedIn, focus on connection requests first, then in mails. I know it's probably going to blow a lot of people's minds. But if you do that, you're able to work on, say, 5, 6, 8 roles with quality submittals, quality replies with every single week. If you hone in on that, we're seeing recruiters I posted about last week with some confusion. It was fees, not salaries, Adam. We have one recruiter, she started last September. She started sourcing in January. And she's made 9 direct hire now placements last 5 weeks, about 185K in billing, just following this approach on 5 different skill sets, 6 different industries. That's what I got, guys.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's a lot in fees.
Mic
That's
drop.
that's incredible. Mic drop. And I can vouch firsthand. Clark knows what he's talking about. I've learned a lot from this guy. And as he's saying things, I'm nodding my head because I do the same. I'm a sourcer. I'm an in the trenches recruiter, and I pretty much have 3 or 4 different techniques for engaging candidates. There's things we can control, and there's things we can't control.
Yep.
As a recruiter, I cannot force a candidate to respond positively or negatively, even respond to my emails, my outreach, or anything. But the more touches I have, the better chances I'm going to get. And I love that order too. But you have to be kind of strategic, Clark. And there's technicalities with LinkedIn connections. You don't want to send too many because once your ratio of sends to not accepts reaches a certain threshold, you're going to lose certain elements of your reach. Is that correct?
I love that you said that. So a couple things that I didn't touch
Thank
on.
you.
So some of the lists are, I'm talking 20 people, 40 people. I think we recruited on the DPA role last week. I didn't even know what that was. Database administrator. We got a 50% connection rate, 56% reply rate, just because it was 41 leads. I think we got 7 screens from it.
Focus.
3 submittals, right? It was focus. So use your 40 there, move on to the next one, Yeah.
Another underrated one too. I start every search because I built such a strong network of first connections in my industry. I always search by first connections first.
Yep.
Free to message, free to reach out. It doesn't
Open
ping you
profile.
anything. Open profile. And that's the other thing with in-mails too I'm seeing now with second connections. You could get free in-mails to them too, but you only get 100. Once you hit that 100 mark, you got to wait.
There's a ton of strategy that goes in, like to what you alluded to. There's all those little different tricks, and I like connection requests, so you can save your in-mails first. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with your profile to highlight open roles, to highlight your headline. That's going to increase your connection and your reply rates. But yeah, just thinking about it a little bit differently, and then because really you want to do these things at night, right, or at the end of the day, beginning of the day, because you got to spend the business hours on the phones, right, handling interviews, recaps, initial screens, all that good stuff. So being able to kind of do that is how you kind of maximize your time. And yeah.
Here's another thing too. Be mindful of time zones too. I always tell recruiters also, like I know because I use automation in my outreach to candidates. And when I have West Coast roles and I'm on the East Coast, I'm very mindful. I do not drop those until after 12 p.m. Because otherwise they could be, right? Otherwise it could be buried deep in that 4 a.m., 5 a.m. inbox, and you don't want that.
Super smart. Yep.
Plus, people are more likely to say yes on a Thursday.
What?
If you didn't know that, yeah, learn that in
Fact check
sales
that.
training.
Really? Why?
It's
Why?
look it up.
Why? No,
Because
you
it's
tell me.
like towards the end of the week, they're excited for Friday. They're the
Mm.
most of their work is done for the week. They're like, all right, Thursday,
Yeah.
full day, and then
Or they
Friday,
had a bad week and
yay.
it's pissed off Thursday.
Yeah, pissed off Thursday, better than pissed on Thursday. And I also heard that that's my
Brought to you
dad
by
joke
R.
of the day.
Kelly.
Dad joke of the day.
I
I
love
also
dad
heard,
jokes.
Clark, is this true? I heard that 72% of all statistics are made up.
That's true 40% of the time.
40% of the
Is
time
that a
it works.
Snapple fact?
It works.
60% of the time works every time.
Yeah, I mean, but you also have to remember this too: flooding the inboxes. Clark, what's your thought on a multi-prong approach? If I'm hitting someone with an email and an in-mail and a connection request, is that good,
like
bad?
it.
Is
I love it.
too much?
Just cadence, look, if you think if you've done your research, you think this is a great role for someone, you want to get a yes or a no, right? You want to get the
Mhm.
intel. So send a connection request, maybe later on that day or the next day, send an email, send an email that same day. Hey, just want to follow up on the email I sent over. That's totally fine. You just have to test out your cadences a little bit, but I like to do 2 messages kind of quick that same day, and then
Mhm.
kind of maybe wait a few days, just because depending on the skill set, they may be active on LinkedIn, they may check it once a week.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
I also set my automated CRM to go out about 2 hours after I add them to that cadence, because I'm going to hit them probably with an email if I have a credit, if I'm able to, and the same thing with the connection request. So you want to space out. By the way, I literally just got an acceptance to a connection request from Roland Working as we're talking right now and scheduling a call. The connection request with a short punchy note with the link to the job works.
I smell a LinkedIn recruiting guide in the works from
I
you
think
guys.
Clark has a few of those.
There are a few, and I think I built about 10 of them last night. So we'll be releasing more here, and for the Purple Acorn listeners as well. So
Guys,
I love
make it
it.
happen.
any recruiters out there, digital recruiter, Clark and his team have built an incredible program. Definitely check it out. I can vouch for it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Well, awesome. Clark, I want to thank you so much, and everyone out there, again,
Clark Wilcox.
please, thank you for Clark. Check out Digital Recruiter. Connect with Clark on LinkedIn. You know where to find him, Digital Recruiter. He will give you all the info to up your recruiting game.